Nobody expected the Boston Bruins to do this, as another win from the Boston Bruins at the end of the season has fans very concerned about the Bruins draft plans. We're going to be breaking that down, touching on the game, as well as going over the updates that the Bruins gave today, and the moves have been made as well in this off day ahead of tomorrow's game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Very quickly, before we jump into this update though, these updates here in this video, be sure to hit the sub button if you haven't already. We're on the road to 7K, and your support lately has been absolutely incredible. We're getting into a very hot period for the Boston Bruins, and you won't want to miss it. So if you are not subscribed, be sure to hit that sub button and stay up to date with all of the Bruins news here in this offseason. Without any further ado, let's get into the first topic of this video here, starting out with some updates that we have from the team, and starting off with a pretty surprising one. And Charlie McAvoy and Mark Kastelic both practiced in regular sweaters today on Wednesday, but interim coach Joe Sacco said that there's still no timeline for either player. Now, this is another update that we've kind of been touching on. Every single update we've got, we've spoken about it here, and my opinion has not changed. Do not bring these guys back for the rest of the season. We saw that the Bruins, getting some wins, and obviously it's at the wrong time, wrong situation, and frankly, we don't want the Bruins to win right now when it does come down to moving up and down in the draft lottery. But Mark Kastelic and Charlie McAvoy, it is very, very nice to see these guys out of no-contact jerseys, back at practice, but even though there's still no update, does not mean they will not return to this lineup, and I'm kind of in a mixed opinion, and I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to see these guys back. I want to see them back healthy, playing again, but I don't want to see them come out here, risk re-injury heading into the offseason, making something worse, and also getting the Bruins another win. We know that the 5th overall pick is where we currently stand, and once again, at the end of the video, we're going to be touching on our updates here when we get towards the draft, where we are in the lottery, where we've moved, because we have moved again since last video, so we're going to be touching on that. Stay tuned for that, but this is going to be some pretty interesting decisions for the management of this team based on whether they want to or not move around this lineup, whether they want to or not move some players in and out to be able to get better, but also still try and lose. So let me know what you would do here in the comments below for these specific moves. But once again, we do have a few more updates on Pavel Zacha and Nikita Zadorov this time. Both did not practice today on Wednesday. Sacco said it was maintenance day for Zacha, who is expected to play Thursday against the Blackhawks, but Zadorov was excused for a deal with a family matter. The defenseman's status for Thursday game is unknown. Now, obviously, two very different things here. The guys are healthy. We want to see them in the lineup, and obviously, Zadorov take as much time as he needs. That's something that is need to be dealt with. A family matter, that's over hockey regardless. But Pavel Zacha, a guy who, coming down from the first line, really has still kept up that consistency and has really shown that the Bruins have been playing well lately. They've seen this lineup changed by just moving Elias Lindholm up to the first, moving Zacha down to the second, of course, calling up Lysell, Fraser Minton, who got his first goal last night. Congratulations to him. Huznatinov. After this trade deadline, a lot of things kind of moved around, and it seems to be going very, very good, which is super exciting as we look towards next season. But obviously, we want to see both these guys in the updates from today. So we'll have a status tomorrow morning, I would likely say, so be sure to stick around for that as well. I'll have another update tomorrow morning going over the updates we have, who's in, who's out for tomorrow's game against the Blackhawks, and the game that's going to be very big for the Bruins as we do head into an interesting time for this team when it does come down to being able to stay in a top 4 pick where they're currently out of and get one of those guaranteed stars, or you go down to 5 through 10 where you have a lot of guys that are going to be very, very good and already know we're going to be very good, but you don't have as much as an easy decision. And we're going to get into that as well here in a little bit when we towards the drafting. But this game last night from the Boston Bruins was, I think, something that nobody expected to see. A 7-2 win against a playoff team in the New Jersey Devils. I want to pull up the box score here, go over this, and you see just about everybody on this team was a positive or even. And that's another, something I did not expect to see, I guess we could say, from this Bruins team at the end of this season as we do head towards the playoffs and whatnot. Because of this team ultimately is being as bad as they have been leading up to this point and being eliminated from the playoffs now, there really is no need for this team to go out here and play hockey. Obviously, the guys want to play hockey, they want to win. They don't really care about the pick necessarily as much as us fans do, as much as management do. Their job is to go out and play, and they hate losing. So obviously, it makes a lot of sense, but I think a lot of other teams are underestimating the Bruins at this point. And, for the most part, rightfully so. The Bruins have not been a good team this year. But when you're coming into this game with a much different looking lineup from maybe the first time or the last time we played the New Jersey Devils, it really goes to show how much this lineup has developed, even though it has not been the success that we've wanted to see. They're certainly playing in an excellent direction. David Pastrnak, another 3-point game. Morgan Geekie, a 2-point game. And these guys have been absolutely spectacular this year. David Pastrnak crossed over this 100-point mark here in this game at 79 games. With three games left to go, we can still see him even higher than that. And in a season that has been as bad as it has been, as a season that has been as painful as a fan to watch, seeing David Pastrnak still put up 100 points, still put up just about 20 minutes time on ice, and playing excellent defense this year for someone who really has not been known for his defense, has been known for his goal scoring, his offensive ability. He's been spectacular this year. And the same thing really even goes for Morgan Geekie, a guy who's on a contract year. Started off terrible, let's not forget that. Came into this lineup, said, I want to be on this team. I want to be on this team for the future. I want a contract extension, and he has deserved that incredibly. And from what we've been looking at this year, I still can't believe we're saying that this team is as bad as they are, but when we're looking at the players, it's really kind of weird to say that. The players, some of them on this team are playing very, very good as well. But when it also does come down to looking at the Bruins offense this year, when we're looking at this lineup, this top six has been very good in these last few games. Even if the team has lost, you see this top six playing fantastic. And Elias Lindholm, who started off the season as number one center, ultimately moved down, was not great for the majority of the season. I think there's no denying that. But him, Morgan Geekie, and David Pastrnak really seems to be a good lineup as of late. Pavel Zacha, Casey Middlestat, and Fabian Lysell, I'm loving that one as well. And Marzan Huznatinov, Fraser Minton, once again, first goal last night, and Vinny Lettieri, another very good line when watching them play, and on paper it may not seem like the best right away, but the Bruins are building something very special here, and I'm very excited to see how this does play out next season, because we know that there's a lot of open spots. There's a lot of guys that deserve to be in this lineup. There's a lot of guys that will be in this lineup next year, including Morgan Geekie, who's going to be on a contract extension, hopefully a long-term one. In his 74 games this season, 53 points, and I want to really classify those as after December, really, beginning of 2025, that's when we really start to see Morgan Geekie heat up, and I'm very excited to see how this does progress in the offseason, where talks go, because there's no doubt in my mind that he will be extended by the Boston Bruins at some point here in this year, because, as I mentioned, I'll pull it up just once again, looking at his stats, he has been absolutely fantastic this year. Defense has been okay, but at a 26-year-old going on 27 for next season and this contract, he's put up some absolutely incredible numbers, and including his goal-scoring ability, which has taken a major leap this year. I'm very pleased to be able to watch him play hockey and see this kind of continue as he did, the majority of the season, and continue this and not slow down once again. And I do think he's going to be just a big part of next season for the Boston Bruins. But of course, we have to also talk about what the next season is going to look like for the Boston Bruins. Just before I finish the video off here, I wanted to kind of touch on the draft situation, where we are for the Boston Bruins, as well as what the lineup is really looking like as of right now, because there's bound to be quite a few changes. When we look at the offseason cap projections for the Boston Bruins from Bruins Cap Space on X, you see a lot of holes there. And I'm not going to pull this up for too long, because I've kind of pulled this up in a video here and there, quite a few recently, and really just look at how this lineup is looking on the paper right now, at least. And there are going to be a few changes. A lot of guys called up from the AHL. And of course, Fraser Minton, a guy like him, is there, just called up. You have a guy like Georgi Merkulov, Fabian Lysell, who are not on this list that ultimately and likely will be. We never really know what's going to happen in the draft. So it's going to be interesting to see what things look like. But with more Bruins wins means the Bruins are going to be moving up and down in this draft order. And we're currently back down to 5th once again. Now, 2 games in hand, we have 2 games more than Philadelphia. They have 2 games in hand on us, and hopefully we do see them win those games, because a win means the Bruins move down in the draft lottery. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, the Bruins are needing to stay in this top 4 if they want a guaranteed star pick. And of course, as I mentioned numerous times, anybody in the top 10 in this draft, I feel is safe, but the top 4 are real guaranteed talents. You know what you're getting more than them in the rest of this draft, but I want to see the Bruins get in the top 4, preferably, even though we do like to see the wins. Now, I do have one more little graphic here I wanted to pull up, kind of just going over the implications of the rest of the season. So moving into the top 5, the uncertainty in the draft, and the first overall pick odds are all big parts of this Bruins team moving out of the top 5. More wins means you're losing out on top of these 3 items here, as you can see on my left, and I don't want to see this happen. Let's be honest, I want to see the best for the Bruins, best for next season. We call this season a wash, and the best for the next season is going to be to lose these rest of the games, get a top 4 pick, or better. We know the lottery can screw over a few teams, and we want to see this team in the right position. So let me know what you think about all of this video. Where do you want to see the Bruins? How do you think about this lineup right now? Why is this team winning? Although I understand why. The team's very, very good, but let me know what you think or how this team really transitioned to where they are right now in the comments below. But that's all I got in this video. Let me know what you think about all of this news here in the comments below. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.